Yes, my fans would be very disappointed. Okay, so we're just going to be talking about volume today. Surface area, what it takes to make it. Volume, what it holds. If I had a like triangular prism right here, you see this? If I take this top and throw it away, does it affect the surface area? Yes. Does it affect the volume? No. Okay. So remember, volume's the air inside or the liquid inside. That's not affected if it has a top or not. Now, we're going to do these kind of in the order that they existed, and we're going to start with the right cylinder, aka the circular prism. Okay? Now, in the right cylinder, or let's write that here, circular prism, all you need to know is the radius and the height to be able to find the volume. Now, whenever you're doing any prism, it's always area of the base times height. So volume equals area of the base times height. Now, how would you find out the area of that base? What formula would you use? No. Sure. Yes. It would be the area of a circle, I guess. Surface area of one thing, it's just area. But what would it be? No. Pi r squared. Did you throw 100 in there? Oh, diameter. No, it's pi r squared. Now, I just want you to kind of see something here. The right cone, okay, if you don't have to draw this, I just want you to kind of look here. If you take any cylinder, if you just put like a dot there, and then you, that's how you get the cone. And I actually used to have this thing, and if you'd weigh it, right? And if you were to just, if you could take those pieces off, and you're left with the cone, and then you weigh it, and guess how much you're left with? That's what most people would think, and it's actually a third, yes, 1/3. And it's pi r squared h, okay? So that's where the formula came from. It came from the cylinder, okay? And same with the right prism and the right pyramid. Same thing. The prism, please. Okay, now, the easiest formula to remember in the world, right? Length times width times height. Volume equals length times width times height. Okay. Now the right pyramid, if you just can kind of bear with me here. If you were to, oh yeah, I guess I should draw the back. I'll draw the back here too. Okay, a right pyramid, putting this in the center and just joining it all down to all the corners. So it comes from the right prism. And again, I used to have you take all the blocks off, then you weigh it, and you would find out you would be left with 1/3 length times width times height. Okay? So I know you have the formulas in your formula sheet. You're like, why do I have to know these? Well, you should know a bit about how they came to be. Okay, so we're going to get in the habit of really being deliberate with these, and this is to just form good habits with your physics that will be coming up and chem. Every time you do one of these, do them in FSA. If I was to give this on an exam, it would be worth 3 marks. Number 1, formula. Number 2, substitution. Number 3, answer. With the correct units and rounding. Now, Like I remember when I had those teachers and they're like, oh, they're so picky. They're picky on the rounding and I'm getting stuff wrong. And you know what? It's like it makes you frustrated, right? But remember, we got to put in that suffering now instead of on your exam, instead of on your diploma. Yes, diploma's 3 years away. Give me a break, right? But it takes 3 years to really get students ready for the diploma, ready to know how to use that calculator, how to get into all those habits, rounding, be heightened to that, right? And I get that you're getting them wrong and they're frustrating because sometimes you're rounding wrong, and that's why I allow you to come in at noon and fix it, talk to me. All I need to know is now you know, you get it, you learned. What did you do wrong? I'll ask. Oh, I didn't read the instructions. So I have students writing out 5 times. From now on, I will read the instructions before and you know what? That's just something to make their life painful enough that the next day they're not going to do it. Okay? So I'm not concerned about your short-term happiness. I want your long-term happiness. Okay? I want you guys to be successful on your exams, on your diploma. Yeah, you're not going to be happy when you have to hand that quiz and you're like, oh crap, I got one wrong. Okay? But if you really think about it, no one should be getting an ulcer over their quiz marks. Okay? You can redo them tomorrow. You can, right? They're worth very little. But students get super upset about exams, and I would too, right? So that's why we want to catch all these things. So the first thing, formula. For the formula, I would like to see volume equals length times width times height. 1 mark, boom. Do you have the formula? Okay. Substitution, again with the correct units, please. That would be volume equals 6 centimeters times 8 centimeters times 5 centimeters, okay? And we really want to get you out of the habit of using time signs. Use either a dot or use brackets. Brackets are better. And then area equals, and then you put in, or no, answer equals, sorry, volume equals, and you'll multiply that, you'll get 240. And what's centimeters times centimeters times centimeters? Centimeters cubed. Okay, so that is what would get you full 3 marks on your, if you just had the answer, that's it, you get 1 out of 3. Okay? I want to see formula, I want to see the correct substitution, I want to see when you get to physics that your physics teacher is going, oh, I love it, they do all those 3 steps, like I don't even have to tell them. Okay? And it is a habit. Okay. Let's just for time's sake, the only trick on B is give you diameter, right? So what's the radius? So the radius would be 1 meter. Okay, and you guys could do that one easy, right? Okay. I want to get to some, because we kind of have to know how to do this one. Now, this one takes, you got to do a little bit of thinking. I know I apologize for that. Because what we're looking for here is we're looking for like a solid pipe. Okay, so this is actually solid here. So you need a game plan. And what I want you to start to do is learn how to make one formula, learn how to do one substitution, and learn how to put just one thing into your calculator. Okay? So does everybody get what's going on here? Okay? We are dealing with just this pipe. Now, in just grade 10 words, what would be, how would you do this? We don't have, look, I don't have a formula for a pipe. It's not here. Okay? That sucks. I don't have a pipe formula. So what am I going to do? Okay? What am I going to do? Yes, doctor. Okay, so describe to me in words what you want to do, though. Because that's not going to get me the answer. What would you do to find the answer? you have to take out the, okay, but what if I found a solid pipe and subtracted out the, what's inside that right now? Air. So we want to subtract the amount, there's a cylinder of air inside that's been, because, well, take the big one minus the volume of the one inside, and you should be left with the pipe. Okay? So, what we'd want to do is to find the volume of the pipe, you'd find the volume of the outside minus the volume of the inside, right? Or the air, or the... See, this is like a general formula. That's not going to get me the answer. Now, the volume of the pipe would equal... Now, the volume of the outside, what would be your formula? What's the formula for volume of like that solid stick pipe? Okay, what would be the formula? Mm-hmm. It's pi r squared height. Now, do we have two different radiuses when we do this? So why don't I call that R1? So what is R1? 5.5 centimeters. Right? Now what is this radius? So R2 would equal 5 centimeters. So this would be my formula. The volume of the pipe would equal pi R1 squared height minus pi R2 squared height. Does that make sense? I'm trying to find the volume of the black. No. The inside is air. That's what water goes through, or air, or whatever. So then, now I just have to go like this, because that's my formula. My substitution, volume of the pipe would equal pi R1, 5.5 centimeters squared times 15 centimeters, minus pi times 5 centimeters squared times 15 centimeters. Yep. That's the radius of that. If this was, yeah, you get it? Okay. Now, yep. Just of the pipe shown. No, total volume of the pipe shown would be, I don't want the air, I just want the pipe shown. Total volume would be pipe and air. So maybe calculate, yeah, maybe that's getting you one way and then it says come back, but so that sound better with the volume of the pipe shown? You like that better? Okay. As long as you're happy, I'm happy. Okay, answer. Now, you guys get better at putting it in all at once. You guys like to put in a little chunk, equals, and take that. And you got things written down. You got things written down on your wrist, back, you know, and you're like looking all over, and where'd that one go? And I dropped the number. So this is how we got to get good at it, okay? So you just go pi times 5.5 squared times 15 minus pi times 5 squared times 15. Okay, look up there. Pi times 5.5 squared times 15 minus pi times 5 squared times 15. Now, what are the advantages of putting it in all at once? Yes, you look back and see your mistake by going second enter to bring it back if you ever need to. The less steps you do, the less chance of error. And maybe to put it more negatively, the more steps, the greater chance of error. Okay? And you really don't have to write stuff down. And it's faster. You know, you have to admit it's way faster. Okay? And boom. 247.4. So, volume of the pipe equals 247.4 to the nearest tenth. And what would be the units? Centimeters cubed. Okay. Now we got a Toblerone box. So this is very similar, right? And it says that it has a triangle with sides measuring 4.2 and a length of 26. Calculate the volume of this box. Now, sometimes it's good to know what you don't know before you start. What don't I know to be able to calculate this? The height of the triangle. Because if I had this height, I know my volume is, now that height is, what do we call that thing? Altitude, right? Because this is my formula to find that thing. If I had A, I got B, right? That's B. If I had A, life would be good. Any ideas how to find A? Yes. No, because that's 4.2. That's 4.2. That can't be 4.2. No, that's good. That's why I'm writing things down. Don't be afraid to answer, because no one else did. Yep. So it's 2.1. Okay. What am I looking for? Very good. So 4.2 squared minus 2.1 squared, and we'll take the square root of all that. Now, are you guys doing this all in one step now? On your calculator? Get good at it. Open that square root. 4.2 squared minus 2.1 squared. You should get 3.6373. Remember, do not round too much. Okay, now you're in good shape. Volume equals 1/2 times 3.6373 centimeters times 4.2 centimeters, all times height times 26 centimeters. Okay, and I know you guys would have no problem putting that one in. So we're going to write it down so we can move quickly to the next one, because I do want to give you lots of time to work on work today. Okay, so the challenge on that one was, did you know that you needed to find the altitude of the triangle? Okay, so number 4 is like finally starting to enter into probably the most important thing that I will be able to teach you for physics. And that is how to derive formulas from other formulas. Because when in physics 30, there's probably over 100 formulas you need to use. You can memorize all those 100 formulas, or you can memorize absolutely none of them and just learn how to derive them. And deriving is just by using your algebra. And we did a lot of that at lunch. So you're ahead of the game, because we weren't doing that. So now you're really going to see what we're doing here. Okay? So if I have a cone that is height 8 meters, volume 300, it says determine the radius. Now if you look on this formula sheet, there is no formula for the radius of a cylinder. A cone, I mean. Okay, so look on there, no formula. Okay, but I do know the formula for the volume. And the volume, here, let me just, for those visual people in the room, let's get this done. This is 8 meters, and the volume is 300 meters cubed. So I know this, V equals 1/3 pi r squared h. Now, which variable do I want by itself? No, not r squared, r. So always circle. Now don't do these things out of order. The first thing you must try to do, is there any addition or subtraction I can do to get things to the left? Because I want r by itself. Is there any addition, subtraction I can do? No. But I need you to think that way, okay? Now, is there any division or multiplication I can do to get r by itself? Yes? Okay, so if I multiply by 3, boom, gone. But in algebra, what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Okay? What else? See, I can even go like this, watch. Really tidy things up. Divide by pi. Boom. Okay, and that's starting to tidy things up. What next? Yes? No, I can't. No. And if I divide by r, I'll have an r on both sides. Mathematically, you can divide by r, but then I got an r on both sides. I want r by itself. Okay, so that's not what we want to do yet. Yes? Divide by h. No. We're not going on. We're not putting our number in. We're just coming up with a formula. See, it's getting better. It's way, way, way better now. Now, some people would say, hey, look, r is by itself. No, it's not. It's actually r. Now, this means r times r. So you're thinking, oh, let's divide by r. And then I'll have one r on that side, but I'll have an r on the other side. I need to get r by itself on the same side. Yes? So I take the square root. If I take the square root, do you see how it gets rid of the squared? And then make sure you do that to there. So what we've come up with is the formula for r. Now, when I was in physics, we would take these complex formulas and then we'd go solve for a variable in it. Some people just memorized, like they would memorize that. Okay, find r, remember square root 3, okay, they had it, okay? And I'm like, why? Like, why don't you? They give you the book. They'll give you this to take into the physics diploma. Not this one, of course, but they give you all the formulas that you need to know. Like, there's maybe 15 of them. And you could derive all the rest. And if you can learn how to do that, life is so, and it's all algebra. It's not like it's this new skill you have to come up with. It's just knowing the right order. So you would get 1 mark just for this formula. And then it's just a matter of putting stuff in. 3 times V is 300 meters cubed all over pi times 8 meters equals r. Now, again, it's always a challenge how to put this into your calculator. So maybe just see what I do here. Now, you got to know your calculator what it does. So when you first hit the square root button, remember second right there, it opens a bracket for you. Now that's saying I will square root until everything till you end that bracket. But I also have this going on, this divided by this. So there's something going on within. So I'm going to actually open another bracket, and I'm going to go 3 times 300, close that bracket, divided by, open another bracket, because I got to keep them together. pi times 8. Now I shut the bracket for the stuff in the bottom and one more bracket for everything under the square root sign. Okay? So if you look, now it's the top divided by the bottom, and this is all square rooted. So it's all up there. Okay, so I just got this right here. So it said to the nearest meter, it will be R equals, so 6 meters equals R. Okay, so there's your homework. It's in your book. And remember, all of your answers are in the back. Now you want to work very quietly. Do not bug